Surf fans, do not adjust your TV. You are reading this right. The Hawaiian Pro, round 3, Heat 8, John Florence going up against Benji Brand, Bino Lopes, and Mitch Colburn. Chris Cote here with Strider Wasilewski. And you're in for a show, folks. If the last couple of heats are any indication of what we're about to see, get prepared. You know, these conditions are absolutely challenging, but if anybody can make these waves look good, it's this guy, John Florence.
John, quick start, little down carve to finish. This is what that board's actually built for. The Ghost kind of comes undone a little bit there off the end of it, so timed and wave kind of not going together. The timing in the wave really not exactly what you wanted, but John getting a warm up.
Just reading about this guy in the latest Free Surf magazine. They're calling him a regional warrior. This is Benji Brand. You know, he lives over here on Oahu full-time, originally from South Africa. He's 21 years old. And one of the most tubed humans on the planet, Benji Brand. And he can definitely perform when things get wild like we're seeing here today.
Well, he's trying to pick up something to, you know, get on the board. Getting in rhythm is key. That one kind of pushing him out of the back. This is the very first wave he got, though. The 667, beautiful opening turn, bottom turn combo straight up into the corner right there. Really well surfed wave.
Mitch Colburn, powerhouse goofy footer. He's kind of come into the Vans Triple Crown of surfing with a new attitude on the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
He's relaxed. He just wants to let his surfing do the talking. You know, he's going to take it, as he says, heat by heat and just whatever may come. But tell you what, he's a perennial threat in any kind of waves.
Couple of quick setup snaps and then nice finish bang off the top of the lip right there. Showed a couple of the fangs. The fins were hanging out the back there, so like to see some aggressive surfing. But for Mitch Colburn, that's actually kind of 50%, right? A lot of these guys, there's so much in the arsenal. I've been seeing that guy surf out at just like small little pipeline left wedges. The last couple of days on the off days, it's just boosting. I mean, just getting above the lip line, having so much fun flying around a little 5.5. And then he has to switch it up and come out here. So, you know, basketball player, they get on a court, I don't care where you're at, it's pretty much the same. Whether it's wood or cement, it might be on a, you know, an indoor or outdoor court, but you're pretty much dealing with the same distance to drive to the hole, to dunk, your free throw. These guys show up and they have to surf a different wave every single time, no matter what.
You've got to be able to adapt. You've got to make these waves work for you. Here's a surfer that did just that by overpowering the waves coming at him. An impressive win from Wiggly Dantas. He's on the beach right now with Rosie Hodge.
Thank you so much. Well, Wiggly, Hawaii, it's like a second home for you. Just tell me a little bit about the prestige of the Vans Triple Crown of surfing.
It's so good to be here in Hawaii and surf here in the Triple Crown. The wave is still fun. It's a little wobbly, but when you get a good wave, you can make 2 big turns and you can get the score. And it's amazing surfing the Triple Crown. It's a dream for me, you know. Win one of these events, for sure pipe here. And I'm stoked to be here one more year and just training hard and just ready for anything.
And you're 24th on the Championship Tour rankings. I had a scroll through the qualifying series rankings. You're 305th. What was the decision to not back yourself up on the qualifying series this year?
My focus on the CT is to make good results, and this year I've been traveling a lot. I just went some trips and stuff, and I don't compete the QS at all. But I know if I make a good result in pipe, I can qualify, and just I'm good. You know, my mind's pretty good. I've been surfing good, so I'm ready for anything. I've been coming here to Hawaii more than 15 years, and I think now is the time to show. You know, I spent a long time in Hawaii and long time in pipeline, so I think it's time to show what I learned all these years. So I'm just comfortable, I'm ready, and just want to go there and get good waves and get some barrels.
And you know, with a couple of weeks after Portugal, how did you fine-tune yourself coming into the Hawaiian season?
I just went home and just like reset everything, get some good boards, and just come here, just talk to my mental teacher and just get ready for Hawaii. And this is pretty much my home. It's just like my second house, you know. And I spent a long time here, and I have a lot of friends, and I love this place. So I just come here and enjoy.
Well done, Wiggly. Back to you guys for live action.
Love it. Confidence from Wiggly Dantas. Here goes John Florence. Off the bottom, straight up in the lip. Lays it back, and normally, 99% of the time, John will make that turn. Benji Brand goes over the falls into oblivion. Keep our eye on Benji Brand. No stranger to waves of consequence. As John makes his way back out into the lineup. Here's a look back. Now, this was a wave from Bino Lopes during that interview with Wiggly Dantas.
Quick little lip line, then drops the wallet into the corner. So it gets 2 maneuvers out of it. So here's a nice little drop wallet for the finish. Fins actually break out of the water, so pushing with a lot. And then here's the replay. John has a great wave, goes into the corner, but see the couple of bumps coming up the face, catches the rail, and goes down.
Well, I mean, this might look familiar to John Florence fans, because this is the kind of waves that he films his video parts in. He loves these chunky, punchy wedges. And if any, again, if anyone can show us fins and aerial surfing in waves like this, it's John. But here goes Benji Brand. Not to be outshadowed or outdone. His backhand can be lethal as well.
He's serving a great heat. He's sitting in the #1 spot. He probably just got another 6, 6, 7 to like basically match, where he's at. So he's going to put himself in a comfortable place in his heat. The other surfers haven't even gotten above a 6-point ride yet.
Here he goes, finding a little mid-ranger. Florence, carved to start, straight up in the lip. Laser sharp surfing on this wave, no mistakes. He makes it all the way to that inside section. Well, nice combo of turns for John Florence.
Spoke a little too soon because John just laid down some pretty excellent surfing right there. So I think, Benji and John will now be looking pretty solid in this heat. But John, after you watch the replay, watch this second setup right here. He comes off the bottom, nice little gouge into the corner. But watch it, see him turning down and away to set up that turn in the lip. So a lot of surfers finding themselves out in front of it. John mixes it up with an open face carve. A little bit of a dig there on the inside, but I think the work was done. Look at this, open face carve to start, turns those shoulders, gets that whip off the end of it. And then right there, board will redirect out, see towards the bottom, and then straight back up into the lip, blows the tail out, pushes, and then pushes the board down and out in front of him. So fun to watch. I'd love to see that whole replay again.
It's that signature whip from John. Bino almost throwing us a heavy hack. Here goes Colburn, big backside hook, goes vertical again. So now Colburn lighting the fire on his backhand. Some big numbers coming through. Benji Brand with a 6.67, matching his opening ride.
I think I might have said that.
I think you did. So John Florence waiting for a big score as well. Check this turn out for Mitch Colburn. This was just
drives into the corner,
surfing.
And then right here, just waits for it, times it perfectly, bang! Buckets. I mean, just so fun to watch. Big man on campus right there, pushing a lot of water around. And you know what? He's going to be rivaling our man, Benji Brand, with that turn. I mean, he's going to get some points out of this wave because he finished strong. That second turn was just vicious. And out the back, here we go. We got a little replay of old Bino. Set up, snap, and then clicks off the top. And then comes in here for the drop wallet. If he could have pulled that, it would have been a pretty solid score. But did not ride out of it. John came in with an 8.17. That was some excellent surfing. I mean, really fired up and looking good. Benji still sitting in that advancing position
precariously,
and he did get another 6.67, so he's looking cozy there. But Mitch Colburn's about to drop a bomb, I think. That second turn was vicious.
I'm with you. I'm with you. That was a snake bite of a turn. 17 minutes and 50 seconds to go. Not only are the Championship Tour stars showing up today to surf, but also superstar surf fans are here as well. I think Ian Folke has a special guest for us on the beach.
Yeah, I do, Cote. Thanks so much. A very special guest. One of the greatest snowboarders of all time, Travis Rice, is joining us on the beach today to support one of the future greatest of all time, John Florence. Travis, what brings you to the beach today?
Victory at sea. Just surf fan. Nice to be, you know, I've never seen like a North Shore event actually run, so it's nice to be on the beach watching this go down.
And Travis, you just came out with a really cool new film, Depth Perception. It looked like you guys had a lot of fun making it. You had an interesting cast of characters. What do you want to tell people about it, and where can they get it?
Yeah, Depth Perception. It's a romantic comedy, or I like to call it a love story. And you know, we spent a lot of last year working on a project in one central location in Interior, British Columbia, and I think we highlight a lot of actually what's going on out here today, surfing in general, the dance with Mother Nature and kind of trying to, you know, sync up with her biorhythms, if you will. It's a different type of film. It's got an all original soundtrack, and I promise you'll like it. You can find it anywhere, literally any platform. It's there. It's everywhere. Depth Perception. Enjoy it.
Thank you, Travis, so much. You guys got to check it out. I watched it on the plane right over here, and it is magnificent. Take it away, guys.
Well, anytime you're talking about biorhythmic love affairs, I'm all in. So I will be checking out Travis Rice's new film, and Travis Rice on the beach right now. I believe he rolled up with the Florence camp. So
Travis, super fan.
Super fan.
Comes over to Tahiti, sails around Tahiti. He's got a boat, loves sailing, and he shares that love with John, and they both have some great, you know, things in common. And he is just, that movie will just blow your mind. And the rhythm of the nature fact of it, it's pretty interesting to watch how you really do. You got to run with Mother Nature, just like in surfing. You got to be on those weather patterns. You got to be on the day, and each day changes so much, and you got to be ready for those changes in the climate. It's pretty cool.
You know what's cool is the score that Mitch Colburn just dropped. An 8.37, leapfrogging the field into the lead. Goofy footer from Australia, perennial CT contender. If he could just get the points he needs, I think he's going to be one of those surfers that really adapts to the championship tour. And
let's take a look.
Let's take a look at this again. This is, I mean, this is what we came for.
Pretty
right here.
clean cut right there, but this turn right here, whew, I mean, just pushing hard and finishes on the inside corner. I 100% agree that that turn right there,
that was probably 7 of the 8.37 points.
A lot of that score. I will go out on a limb here, I mean, and just say that in my opinion, I thought that John's wave was still better than Mitch's wave. So John got an 8.17, Mitch got an 8.37. Interesting, because John really put together three amazing, two or three really great turns, and Mitch had one really good turn.
But that turn was twice as aggressive as any of the single turns John did.
I don't
know. In my opinion.
I think that
I think the combination
blowtail was pretty nuts.
Well, you know, that's why there's 5 judges.
That's true. And there's just
two of us here.
In here just wrapping
and
out.
We split down the middle right there. So we've got 5 judges.
Well, here we go. Here's John's wave. Bottom turn, opening turn, way better than Mitch's. Okay. Now watch this turn. Angles down and goes straight up into the lip, blows tail, and then comes around for another open face whip.
Very similar to his first turn. So maybe the judges are looking at combination of major maneuvers.
Well, there was only one major maneuver on Mitch's wave.
You're right. Well, hey, they're both right in the same wheelhouse. An 8.17 and an 8.37. Mitch's wave was bigger, so wave selection coming into play.
I'll agree they were both excellent.
I'm with you there, and the judges are as well. That is up in the excellent range. Can he do it again? Mitch Colburn cranking it off the bottom, straight into the lip. Another massive hack for Colburn. Another big turn. He's turning it on, and I'm loving it. The Queenslander.
That was pretty vicious right there. So, where are they going to go with that score?
I mean, that has to be up in that 8 range as well, right?
Let's watch the replay. We'll watch the scores drop. We can make opinions on it. Let's see it. Drops into that nice, perfect wedge, bottom turn combo, slams into the corner, buckets out the back, another quick snap, and then a whitewater climb to finish.
Second turn was slightly mistimed, but he made it
Look
work.
at this bottom turn, though. He's just holding it, and then right here, slambo. But you know what? Didn't really push that hard off the end of it. But this one, quick little snap back into it. The beginning of that turn was amazing, but the finish, to me, he lightened up on it.
You're splitting hairs here.
I am, but that's what we do.
Here we go. John Florence answering back. Quick, late snap, back onto the open face, setting it up, blowing the tail goes down. All right, so that will not come into play. Now we're waiting for the big score to drop.
But whatever it is,
Colburn.
It's going to put Mitch way out in front because nobody has got a backup score like Mitch is going to get on this one. Here's the replay. Little wedge, snap into the pocket, onto the lip. A little late to the party there, and just kind of, you know, child's play off the end there. He knows he didn't really combo that one up right from the beginning. So this first turn, a little tiny bit late. You see where the lip kind of flapped him in the face, threw him off. And then he tried to regain right here, but you're not really going to get much out of a little turn like that.
Even the world's best make mistakes, right?
That's right.
11 minutes, 20 seconds to go, waiting for the score to come through for Mitch Colburn. It's going to be a biggie. Here we go. We're over halfway through. Can John Florence eclipse the Surfing from Our Queenslander in the lead? You're going to have to stay tuned to find out. More to come from the Hawaiian Pro. This is a look back at John Florence's 2016 win here at the Hawaiian Pro. Dominating fashion from beginning to end. In the red jersey, your high seed here in this final, and just made it look like child's play. And John Florence looking to get himself back into the driver's seat. Last year, the big win here. You know, he's been competing at the Vans Triple Crown of Surfing for 11 years. And there's your list of winners here. What I love here...
Since he was 11, he's been competing out here?
11 years he's been on the
I mean, isn't he like
surfing.
22 years old?
25.
Jeez, he's been just at it since he was a tiny grom.
I love the list of winners here at the Hawaiian Pro. It's so varied. It shows you still anyone's game. Here goes John straight up into the lip. Carving back into the whitewater. Watch out. Always lethal on that end section. John Florence in second place.
A couple of big scores.
Kind of a rarity.
Dropped there while we were away. Mitch Colburn dropped at 7.97 for that wave we saw that we were discussing, where I said he kind of backed off the gas a little bit on that one turn.
Still right there in the excellent range.
Which is, yeah, I mean, he's so big that when he backs off, he even just still throws buckets. And this man, John throws it up into the lip for a quick one. Nice little cut back into the corner, and then slams the drop wall at the finish. So pretty solid surfing. but a little flat on the inside. They want to see that rail engaged. And then Bino's replay of his 683. Boom.
Oh, I forgot Bino was in the
snap. Another snap up into the top. So 683 for that wave. Not bad. Not bad. Look at this snap right here. He comes off the corner, identifies his section, just racks it up. Pushes the tail, drops the backhand in for support, and then right into another one. That's the kind of succession that'll get you points. And comes away with a 683. So solid surfing from Bino. Puts himself back in the game. Needs a 732 to advance. Benji Brand needing a 748. Don't forget about that man. And then this guy, Jordy Smith, number 3 in the world, held the Jeep Leaders jersey.
Whoa, look at that heat.
Almost the entire year as Colburn goes over the handlebars.
Whoa, whiplashed. 7 minutes to go. Round 3, heat 8 rolls through. With Mitch Colburn in the lead on the strength. Really, I feel like Strider, 2 turns. The reason why Mitch Colburn is in the lead. There were 2 huge backside hooks with a little bit before and after, but it was really on the strength of those 2 big turns. And that shows you something there. Yes, you have to do a combination of big radical maneuvers, but the speed, power, and flow can really be the culmination of one big turn or a big air.
Yeah, definitely.
And that, I mean, think about it this way too. If he makes this heat, starts to get on a roll, that pair of turns could be the difference between him on tour or missing the cut.
That's crazy.
He's building momentum right now, and it is really fun to watch. But hey, still 6 minutes to go. Benji Brand, this guy is highly adept in waves like this. And he kind of puts his strategy hat back on and gets quickly out of that wave, and he's going to try to get back into the lineup here.
Plenty of time left, Chris.
Hey, and Bino is a clutch character. It's the Florence camp. We got Alex Florence in the middle, sandwiched by a couple of Pizels. There's John up and down. 5 minutes, 30 seconds to go.
Well, John, he's trying to back up that 817 with something of substance. He has to better the 597, and so he's frantically catching waves because he's not safe. These other surfers able to catch him, and he doesn't want to bow out of this thing.
And this guy's good, Bino Lopes. Unfortunately for Bino, that wave wasn't that good. It looked good off the start, closed out quick. And here goes Benji Brand. Has to get out of that wave because Mitch Colburn had position priority. So able to fend him off. It wasn't a crazy good wave, but Benji could have done damage there. So I think that was smart strategy-wise.
Tactically, I think that he just did John a huge favor. Because Mitch Colburn looked at that wave. It was in priority. Benji was going, and you know, if Benji would have caught that wave, it's possible that he would have got the 748 with 3 big hacks. Because look at where he was positioned. He could have really went to town on this thing and had to give way. He would have got a turn off right there, and then possibly gotten 2 more off, just like Mitch Colburn did. So,
have we had an interference yet in the Hawaiian Pro?
We have not, but it might have been one right there. If a surfer crosses the path of another one, impeding his path to performance, it would be deemed a interference.
Well, that's why you saw Benji have to pull out right there, is because Mitch Colburn is holding on to priority. So Benji Brand, while he did stand up and go, he had to get right out of the way. And you know, I don't think he impeded Mitch much.
No, he didn't.
Sometimes
he did have to cross over his path on his bottom turn.
Here's a heat recap. This has been an absolute fireworks display.
Yeah, just blitzing through the lip. That first turn, beautiful. That one, I mean, there's so much spray in the whole screen. You know, he's really railed out right there. Those 2 first and last turns, there's so much rail in the water, spray everywhere. This turn of the heat so far, pushing a lot of water, gets the tail free for a second. High speed right there. I mean, that was beautiful, quick lightning surfing, and then again gets himself another one right here.
I'm impressed.
I think great surfing by Mitch Colburn. Definitely in the lead right now, and getting himself a couple of big scores for those waves.
Well,
I personally still think that the surfing that John did on his wave was better than what Mitch did on that opener.
You're entitled to that.
Those scores should be flip-flopped.
Well,
but
here's something though.
But it would change the requirement of the other surfer, and they'd be looking for less of scores. I know the other score was pretty big too. Here we go. It was an interference. So Benji dropping in and not giving way to Mitch Colburn. Mitch Colburn having priority.
It's because he had to stall kind of right there.
So he had to go over his track, and Benji going, wow, wait, did I not have priority? But he was in number 2 spot. And unfortunately, he will get an interference, and that will be all she wrote, because one of his scores will be deemed as a 0.
With 150 to go, we got Dave Shipley to talk us through that interference call.
Yeah, how are you doing, guys? Yeah, unfortunate situations that we have to call sometimes, but it's a pretty standard priority call, and there's just the basic rules. You can't cross over the surfer. So Blue, unfortunately, did cross over Green's priority, and it was a pretty easy call for the judges. Priority interference on Blue.
We're with you, because you could see on that replay, Mitch had to change what he was about to do on that wave. He actually stood up, and you saw him kind of stalling at the top, looking straight at Benji. Yeah. So, you know, it was. And
he was pretty positive he had priority. But in that situation, you know, when everything's happening like that in the water, you're kind of like, do I really have priority? What's this guy doing taking off? You know.
Well, it was I think it was a gamble as well for Mitch, because obviously well into the lead. But I think, he had full confidence that he had priority. Benji Brand, great surfer. And unfortunately, Benji Brand's Hawaiian Pro run will end here. Right now, Mitch Colburn looking solid to take the win with John Florence in second place. Bino Lopes just couldn't really find his footing. He hit a 6.83 and a 4.9. And here goes Mitch Colburn, fading back. Again, vertical into the lip. Saw not a lot going into that wave.
That was a fun heat to watch, huh?
That was awesome.
Great surfing. In the lip action.
Well, don't give the win yet until the buzzer blows. You never know with John Florence still he could do it with 2 seconds. Well, there you go. Buzzer blows. And that's it. Mitch Colburn advances through with heavy backside surfing, along with last year's winner, John Florence. Stay tuned. Pete Mellon, Kaipo Guerrero joining us in the booth.
Welcome back to the World Surf League coverage of the Hawaiian Pro, and it is on a QS 10,000. Kaipo Guerrero along with Peter Mel for the call, and Pete, that was an exciting last heat. We got an exciting heat in the water now with the second highest seed in Jordy Smith in the water. He's joined by Josh Moniz, Adam Melling, and Noimar McGonigal.
Good to see Mitch put together a good heat, beating John, and John has been beginning to sense that presence of a Slater-esque. You know, and when he shows up here to surface heat, the crowd triples. It is amazing, and he performed. He got himself through another heat.
Yeah, we touched on it. Here's the heat in the water with Jordy Smith, our number 2 seed in this event, with the absence of Gabe Medina, Josh Moniz, Adam Melling, and Noimar McGonigal. But yeah, that was a great heat, and there was a great read with Mitch Colburn that I came across, where Mitch was talking about the difference between competitive surfing and free surfing, and how that line is blurred because the level on the championship tour, former championship tour surfer here in Adam Melling, and he wants back on. That happened during the break, and Jordy Smith got going too.
And look at Jordy. These conditions you would think are very conducive to him. Showing up, a lot of power. He was out practicing on his step up, most likely a board that he's out there on right now. Very smart, testing that equipment. It wasn't the biggest yesterday, but he went out on that board to make sure that this is the one he felt like he was going to be riding. Out there practicing on it, so he feels nice and comfortable.
Yeah, got caught up in the parking lot with Jordy Smith and his coach Chris Gallagher just for a download this morning on what their strategy was going to be. We'll get back to that strategy as we're going to take a look at the young Hawaiian Josh Moniz with a big opportunity here to be the giant killer. Starting off nice with a float up in the whitewater, gets back up again, showing some nice flow and a snap. So that'll do it for Josh to start off with a decent score. Jordy Smith opens up with a 4.67.
Now, there's a bit of a read in the lineup. You can see that there's a few of these waves that are slipping over deep in the lineup. Look where he's sitting and catches this wave. But you know what? The face stays super open. He faded that takeoff, so he got that first opportunity, climbs the whitewater, does it twice. So difficult, those moves, to keep your board flowing through that maneuver. Gets the finish. And again, he was over there kind of uncontested. There's that open face layback snap.
Live action. We're going with Adam Melling. He opened up with a 3.67. So we're back up that 3.67 with a couple of nice turns. And Melling kicks out.
So Melling getting that quick start. Scores have trickled in for the first exchange. Take a look at this replay here. A little double up section. You see a wave almost breaking on the top of it. It literally dissipates, and that means there's extra energy. It almost folds into that wave.
Well, let's check in with the last heat winner in Mitch Colburn. He's with Rosie Hodge.
Solid surfing, Mitch Colburn beating the defending Hawaiian Pro champion as well as the defending world champion has got to be a satisfying competitive feeling.
Yeah, that was really fun. I just thought I positioned myself like too deep at the start, and then they just kept coming to me. I think I got the best waves of the heat, and it's kind of what you need to do to beat John and pretty much everyone in the event too. So I'm just stoked I had a fun surf.
And I was chatting to you the last time we ran the competition, you're just saying that you have such a relaxed approach at the moment. So solid scores, relaxed approach, is that the recipe for success out here?
I think so, yeah. I've just got no pressure this year, and I've had a really rough kind of middle of the year. I just coming down to the end, I'm just like, I just want to surf good heats and have fun. So that's what I'm trying to do.
And competitively switched on, using your priority over Benji Brand, what went into that decision?
I kind of thought that I was going to have priority. I didn't really look until the last second, and I looked up and I did, and I was just like, I thought it was a really good wave, so I was going to go. I was hoping that he was just going to go straight, so he wasn't going to get the and I just felt bad, but I was just like, I had priority, so I was going to go the wave.
Mitch, great surfing. Can't wait to see what you do in the rest of the event. Back to you, Caps.
Thank you, Rosie, and can't wait to see more of Mitchell Colburn.
You know what? Just by the look, his demeanor, we're staying next door to him, and seeing how much time he's spending in the water. He is spending a lot of time in the water. Even when it's flat, he's putting himself out there in conditions that are, kind of windy and chunky. He's out there putting in the time. Same with Dusty Payne. But those two have been feeding off each other a little bit right there at the Volcom House. I like seeing this Mitch Colburn because I feel like his surfing translates to that championship tour rather easily because obviously he loves barrels. His forehand is solid. His backhand's good. Carries a lot of power in his style and approach. So it'd be a good addition to that championship tour.
He wants on that championship tour. He's been very public about it. On the championship tour, we got a world title race on both the men's and women's end. We'll get deeper into that as we look at Josh Moniz live action. A little bit late to the party there. Started with a 5.23.
That was awesome. He faded that peak completely, trying to get that thing up in there, and he had to climb over. It looked like a 3-foot chop.
So, you know, back to the championship tour and the world title race, we actually have a website at that you can check out, the WSLTitleRace.com. Explore it now, pull it up. It's a website produced by the World Surf League, and it gives you all a background and all of the different scenarios as we come to the pointy end. We're going to be crowning a champ on the women's end, Honolulu Bay, Maui, and we're going to crown a champ on the men's end. Perhaps it's this guy that's going to go down at the Bonsai Pipeline.
Well, a little microsite, right? So it has all of the scenarios that are going to have to unfold for this guy to defend his title, or for a guy like Jordy Smith to take it back, or Gabriel Medina.
Here we go. Noemar McGonigal, great surfer from the great nation of Costa Rica.
Not to be confused with the island of Costa Rica.
There is no island of Costa Rica. It's a nation. It's a surfing nation. It has both a Caribbean side and a Pacific side, as well as that south side where Noemar comes from. Pavones, our heat leader, however, in Jordy Smith, making it look pretty easy. Opened up with a 4.67.
I have to use typo because the fact is we can't be perfect on this broadcast all the time. Right?
We try to be perfect.
And occasionally, if you make one little error, there's somebody out there that's going to find it for you.
Yep.
Yeah, the island of Costa Rica, necessarily, you know, hey, I think you're maybe thinking Puerto Rico. You know, I get that confused.
Are we still going there, Pete?
I just wanted to explain it to the
viewers.
We've
been very public. This is from the great surfing nation of Costa Rica, Noemar McGonigal on the replay.
That's so correct. And this kid has been on point, been putting in a lot of time on the qualifying series, has great success, especially on the back end. And we look at another replay here of Jordy Smith. So strong off that bottom turn. Attacked the first section here. And wants to finish, you know. Again, having completed rides is so important to getting good scores. And that one there, just a 5.57, but he has a lead.
I think the judges might owe us one more score for Jordy Smith. We'll see.
So there we are, making mistakes again. See, I made a mistake too. It happens.
But you know what? Jordy's going to improve his position and show why he is the top seed in this heat. All of our top seeds in this round, they don the red jerseys, so that's how you can tell who's at the top of the rankings coming into this event. Second highest seed would be Josh Moniz in the blue jersey. Josh, again, caught behind the white water. He opened up with a 5.23, but he needs to find a backup for that. 5.6 last for Jordy Smith.
So looking at this heat and Josh Moniz and where his rankings are and so forth, but he is actually taking a wild card position because he is up against the #1 seed in Jordy Smith at this point, right?
Yep. So Josh is 37th on the New Era qualifying series leaderboard.
But there's only 6 of the top QS guys that's supposed to get a seat in this round, so he's got a wild card, though.
Yeah, he came through some earlier heats in this.
Oh, there you go. Never mind then.
Yeah.
So who's the seed in this one?
Must be Adam Melling.
No, he surfed through it too. So did Noemar. So Josh is the seed. He's a wild card.
Well, there you go.
Figuring it out as we go.
Figuring out on the fly. 37th, the young Hawaiian, Josh Moniz. He's able to actually, if he has a dream run through this Hawaiian leg, Josh Moniz can certainly still find his way into the championship tour.
Again, so there is a regional wild card that's you know, it could give into that spot. I mean, there's a Hawaiian Pro.
It's the highest QS rated Hawaii region surfer, I believe, that got that wild card.
Awesome.
That would be Josh Moniz.
There you go. So again, he's got the opportunity to go 37 all the way up to that top 10 if he can have himself a good run here at the Hawaiian Pro or the Vans World Cup.
Yeah. Well, it all starts here. He's going to need to, you know, at 37th on the rankings, he's going to need good finishes at both venues.
Yep.
But he's got the talent as well as he's got the familiarity to both Haleiwa and Sunset.
You know, just looking at his rankings, he does. I mean, just by surfing in this event, he's going to improve his point total. But he's sitting at 37th. He has 8,350 points. which means that if he were to take a win,
he's there.
He's there. Yeah, you take away 900 points, that's 9,000 points added to that. That's 17,000.
He's there.
It's close.
What a great opportunity as we talk through the numbers. And we're going to continue talking through the numbers, folks. Thank you for joining us for day number 3 here at the Hawaiian Pro. And the reason why we're talking through so many of these numbers is because
there's a lot of them.
There's a lot of them. And it's really important because we're setting the stage, we're setting the cast for the 2018 Championship Tour on this qualifying series here. And these are 2 giant events for everybody who's grinded through an entire year, circling the globe, adding up points.
And as an example, you may have got up and riding here, live action.
Adam Melling. So Adam surfed that wave pretty nicely, gets through, looking to better his 3.67.
Got 2 surfers actually sitting very close on that New Era qualifying series rankings. Adam Melling and Josh Moniz, they're both in the 30s. Let's take a look at the replay here. Adam Melling sits at number 35. He's been putting that turn to good use already in this event. His low score is a 3.67. Take a look again. Look at this first. This is the layback, where that back arm shoots back behind your body, and that's where you get that extra little punch of that back foot. It leans all of that weight on the back foot, and you get that gouging turn. And of course, you're laying back while you're doing that maneuver. That's why it's called the layback snap.
As we look at the New Era qualifying series rankings, you can see Josh Moniz, 37th position. The grayed out names have already been eliminated into competition. And in the Hawaii, Tahiti, Nui region, we give that wild card into the round of 64 for the regional surfer that's in the top 50 of the QS. So that's how Josh Moniz qualified for that wild card in this 3rd round. So good start for the young Hawaiian, and thank you to my statistician over there in Sharks Cove. You got a similar statistician over there as well in Sharks Cove, Pete.
Would that be Liam McNamara? He's hanging out at Sharks Cove.
Thank you. Well, he's got a surf shop right over there.
Yeah, well, North Shore Surf Shop. I mean, got a couple of establishments. One here in Haleiwa.
There we go. That is Camp Moniz with Benji Brand, who's a good family friend. Reynolds Hayes, the coach.
An adopted brother, right?
Yeah. The lightest brother of the of the squad. Seth Moniz, mom Tammy, and dad who's legendary here in Hawaiian waters, Tony Moniz. Noemar. Big, powerful surfer. So this Hawaii Lake suits his style. And he's slicing through a couple of nice turns, building up some speed on the inside. Another big slash for Noemar. Little bonus, gets up in the lip again before finishing. So that's going to be his best wave so far. 7.64 will put him in 2nd place and advancing position. We're halfway through the heat here. 15 minutes and 50 seconds. You can see in the distance the iconic red buoy here at Haleiwa. Adam Melling. Nice carve there for Melling. And decides not to hit that closeout section. Didn't think there was a lot of scoring potential there, so he kicks out and makes it easier paddle out for the surfer from Lennox Head, Adam Melling. Noemar McGonigal, let's take a look at this replay.
So he does, again, deep in that lineup. A lot of the surfers in this heat specifically have been picking up those waves kind of deeper in the lineup. What it's done now is it opens face, has a little bit more open face on that inside section. You know, that north swell, you can kind of pick those waves up a little further into that peaks area. Whereas in contrast, you see these waves have been picked up by Adam Melling more out front. And you get that toilet bowl section coming at you just like that. So 2 different types of waves being surfed here by these 2, you know, competitors in this heat.
Well, Noemar got a 4.93, so building on his heat total. Noemar McGonigal, 45th on the New Era QS rankings. We're going to come back with the second half of this heat. Stick around More of the Hawaiian Pro coming your way.
I'm Joshua Moniz. We're here at the Vans Triple Crown, and this is the GoPro brake breakdown. I'll leave us a little hidden down the point on the North Shore. We're on the lower side of this, like what we call the 7 Mile Miracle. Typically when you got the normal size, when it's like 4 to 6 feet, you have the right that you sit off the rec center, which the locals call, and then you have the end section that's called the toilet bowl, and that's like the end bonus section. Sometimes it gets too heavy to hit, so you have to dodge it, but during an event, you always have to just go for it no matter what. So one good thing that when it's small, at least there's 2 peaks out there, so you can get a little bit tricky with priority, and if you're under them, kind of move around. So you're gonna see a lot of like very exciting, like high performance surfing.
Love the POV from the good folks over there at GoPro, an official partner here at the Vans Triple Crown of Surfing. Love all those perspectives you can get from the GoPro camera, both with the mouthpiece as well as the board mount. Josh Moniz talking us through the typical Haleiwa lineup. This not so typical, but Josh is up and riding now with a nice opening down carve. Punches it through the lip there, stays on. Big snap for variety and doubles it up, gets back up in the lip again. So light feet, and the Moniz support squad really appreciates that, as they should. That's going to be his best wave so far.
Well, he's carrying a 0.7 as his second wave, so this is definitely going to improve his situation. Doesn't need much. Only a 4.65 will take him into the number 2 spot, which is the advancing position, as you have 4 surfers with 2 advancing. Again, watching this go, again, deep in the lineup. So he saw something there. Reynos, coach that's been working very closely with the Moniz brothers, seeing something in the lineup, kind of probably pointing it out, going, hey, look at those waves as the best opportunity for some open face. And so far, so good for Josh Moniz. I think that's definitely going to put him into that number 2 spot.
Well, Josh, local surfer here, and surfed many waves. He knows wave selection, and you can go talk to us about wave selection, Pete.
Well, it's part of the heat strategy, finding the best waves in a confused lineup like today. You've got to figure out where those best waves, where your best opportunities are going to be, and that's part of that heat strategy, wave selection being a paramount if you want to advance on and be in those top 2 each and every heat. So you got to be able to read that ocean very, very well.
Especially on today, right, with a challenging lineup where it's not straightforward, like they're not surfing a perfect right point. So wave selection, key to success here. Noe Mar Maganago opening up with a nice carve. Double up here, bangs it. Can he hang on? And he just gets eaten up by the white water.
He's still there, he's still there. Well, not anymore. You saw that green jersey pop out. I mean, we know how important it is. You see that little, that's that toilet bowl section. I mean, he was going over 2 separate double ups to get into the somewhat cleaner face to get those maneuvers done. But when you have those quote unquote double ups, right? It's when waves actually become, 2 waves become 1. And when that happens, you get all the extra energy of the wave behind folding into the first wave, and that makes for an extra powerful wave. It actually doubles the power. And it literally, sometimes you want to look for those types of waves because it does do that. But it sometimes, like in that situation, when you go over the double up and it comes into you, going the opposite direction, it makes it nearly impossible to pull it off.
Yeah, you just get the crunch there as those two waves converge, and very, very hard to hang on to. Last wave for Josh Moniz, that was a 6.67. That vaulted the young Hawaiian surfer into the lead over Jordy Smith, making a statement. So I like what I'm seeing from Josh Moniz. Maxime Husno, he's going to be coming up next, along with Connor Coffin, Italo Ferreira, and David Van Zyl, the South African surfer that's been performing really well here.
He loves to ride smaller equipment.
It's a small board.
Yeah, I mean, that's a short board. He's going out there on a short board. Yeah, a little swallowtail.
A swallowtail, too.
He's going out there I mean, if you were to look at that equipment and look at his strategy, he's all about doing big moves. He is going to go out there and be loose as a goose. You know, in contrast, you see probably a Jordy Smith's going to be riding a super pinned out pintail.
So talk to us a little bit about the difference between a swallowtail and a pintail, because I just ride round pins here, and it's unusual for me to see guys on swallowtail.
Well, okay, so the swallowtail tends to widen the tail block, which means the very end of the board is going to be a little bit wider, and then the bites into it. The swallow is really going to give you a release. It's going to have that board at a certain speed. It's going to want to be very free and you know, up in the lip. It's going to slide, you know, and it's going to be a very loose feeling.
And then what's the pintail do? The round pin
gives you a bit more positive. It means it gives you a grip in the wave. It's going to, you know, you can push harder on it, and you're not going to get release as you would, you know. So different contrasting styles there. I mean, the way that Maxime surfs, he likes to surf very loose and unweights in the lip, and you see him kind of drift over sections, whereas you see a contrast to an equipment and in style would be Jordy Smith in this heat. He is going to have a very pinny. He is going to lay into his maneuvers, and he's going to stay click to the face of the wave and click to the lip.
Enjoy the board talk, Pete. Here we go. Josh Moniz, he's our heat leader, and just an up and out, so not going to help him, but not going to hurt him. Maybe just a repositioning tactic as well. As you can see, the current continues to draw. Young South African, he's been on a tear, David Van Zyl.
Another great opportunity for these youngsters to just grab all of those QS points.
Yep, Mike February in the back there came down to support his friend and roommate here on the North Shore.
Well, you know, February also, you see him with his checkered Vans team rider. God, how cool is Vans that they just support so much of the event side of marketing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you, all over the globe, they've got, you know, skate influence events, you've got surf events, BMX. I mean, and it's because Vans, they understand how valuable an event is, you know, in the sense that they come down here and it's an experience, and you get to experience the brand.
They help us, man. They've been, you know what? They've been sending Stoke since 1966. Vans Off the Wall, our official partner here at the Vans Triple Crown of Surfing.
And they support all levels as well. You know, it's you know, you got the QS 1000s. It's up everywhere. Look at this barrel.
Wait a minute. What? Wow. Talk about wave selection. Talk about wave IQ. And the impromptu dance by Jordy Smith, and he bookends that.
That was sick.
With a nice air reverse to finish off. So talk about variety, it was there. Talk about flow, it was there. Talk about wave selection, obviously, that was there.
Hey, that
and
was
a little bit of progression at the end.
Anytime you can get the judges thinking like, where the heck? That was wow. We were not expecting a barrel today at all. I mean, look at this wave. He's like, oh, okay, I'm just sticking with it. But he sees this little wedge on the inside. At this point, he's all, what? Maybe. Look at that. Stalls it perfectly. Stuffs himself in there, and it actually, like, that was a legit little barrel.
And a big carve.
And then here, gets a little section, decides to throw a little reversal on there. That was a well-ridden wave. Look at this, too. He just forces himself in there, you know, and sees that the opportunity is going to open up. Such a good read on this wave, and then that is legit. He has disappeared completely. Comes out clean, too. Anytime you don't have to punch yourself out of a barrel, judges will like that.
Josh Moniz back up and riding. He's going to have to fight back. He's likely going to be knocked into second position here, but that's still enough to advance for Josh Moniz. We're going to wait for a monster score for Jordy Smith. The judge is still deliberating. As soon as we get that score, we'll deliver it to you and give you the heat situation. 6.31. He's going to get more than that on that wave, so Jordy Smith's going to go into the lead. Here's an explanation of the scoring in the corner, Pete.
So you got 5 judges representing all different parts of the globe. France, Brazil, Hawaii, US of A. And each of those 5 judges give a score. And you'll throw off the high and the low. And that gives you the single scores, which you see there on the right of your screen up top, the scoring waves. And then the top 2 best scoring equal the totals, which you see right in the middle of your screen there. So the guys with the highest heat totals, first and second, move on to the next round.
Jordy Smith, he's not going to wait to hear what that last score was. He wants more here at Haleiwa. And the big South African looking just playful out here, in just great control. Actually looking like he's having fun.
Well, you know what's crazy is that you can see what the change in demeanor, right? Like, you know, he saw that wave, rode that wave well, knew it was going to be a pretty good score, didn't even have to hear it, but all of a sudden he's got his dancing shoes on and he goes straight into another wave and he looks so much looser.
Yeah, I mean, just confidence and feeling it, knowing that he's got a good wave under his belt. Two minutes and 20 seconds. A 7.6 just checks in for Jordy Smith. Let's listen in. Oh, well, they'll be speaking Portuguese, so if you can understand that.
Who is that guy?
William Cardoso getting a laugh and some support from Felipe Toledo. William Cardoso, the Kung Fu Panda. He's number 4 on the new era QS rankings. William,
I love that he has a shirt that says Panda on it.
Oh, he did have a shirt that said Panda
that's why I said that. Come on, dude. I knew who he was.
Awesome.
The actual shirt said Panda.
No, I thought you wanted me to say his nickname because I'm not sure if I gave him the nickname. I know I was one of the first guys to really
the Panda,
use it.
His Panda's been around for a while, but you with the Kung Fu, I guess, is kind of coining it. But there it is. Look at the shirt. Panda. Yeah, that's right. Hey, so fun to watch him surf, too.
Oh. So light-footed for a big guy, but then at the same time, he can meet power with power at any given time. Rides like 3-inch thick boards. Just, I think he'd be a good addition to the championship tour.
Well, he's been there. He's done it. You know, he's had experience there. So I know that he wants to be back on the Dream Tour.
Scratching. Melling. 6.04 is what he needs to get into second place and bump Josh Moniz out. Well-surfed wave, calculated. He could have used the finish there, however.
Yes, he should have. That would help a lot.
So he's going to make it real tight. We're down to under a minute. So we'll be watching and anticipating a score for Adam Melling. 6.04 is the number. Had a couple of nice turns. Wasn't able to finish off the wave. Let's see what the judges think. We may end the heat waiting for the score.
Look at this, a little low road attempt here from the inside of Jordy Smith.
What's Jordy got for us? Something fun? Big air and throws it away. A good idea.
Don't hurt yourself.
A lot more surfing to do, Jordy. Waiting on scores for Adam Melling. Comes in at a 5.7. Not enough. The Moniz camp is happy. Little golf clap from Pops Tony.
They're hearing right now. I don't think they've heard us from the beach announcer yet.
And Jordy Smith, Josh Moniz, advance on. Adam Melling and Neymar McGonigal are out of competition. When we come back, we're coming back with Connor Coffin, Italo Ferreira, Maxime Husno, and David Van Zyl. This is the Hawaiian Pro. Beautiful sights of Hawaii, and we're back at the Hawaiian Pro into heat number 10. Round number 3 with Connor Coffin in red jersey, Italo Ferreira in the blue jersey, Maxime Husno in the white jersey, and David Van Zyl in the green jersey, Kuiper Girl, along with Peter Mel for the call. Great heat here.
This gives us the opportunity to actually talk about Italo Ferreira and that conversation we had previous to Italo and where he would sit if he were to, the wild card, right, and injury wild card. But basically, if you qualify for the tour in rankings, either in the qualifying series and or in the championship tour, that is the spot you qualify for. So you actually can't even apply. Yeah, you can't apply for an injury wild card if you've qualified. So reality is, Italo most likely will be easily qualified here if he puts up a pretty good number.
Yeah, we take top from the qualifying series at the end of the year, top 10, and we take 22 from the championship tour. We saw that graphic there. Maxime Husno just showing us how that swallowtail and those quick feet work all together on that first wave. He fit in a bunch of turns in not very much of a space. That was pretty impressive.
Yeah, and so in looking at Maxime's approach, I mean, he surfs a lot of waves like this, big, solid. This reminds me of a very windy, stormy France, Hasegawa, where he surfs a lot. He surfs in that zone. So he's very comfortable riding smaller equipment in sizable surf like this. And I think that his style and approach, you see his stance is very wide. He surfs very low to his board. And that's the kind of style and approach you have to have if you're going to ride that type of equipment.
We'll wait for that score, and it's going to be a mid-range score, so it's going to be a good start for him. Connor Coffin takes a paddle into that wave, unable to scratch into it, so Coffin's probably going to go to the back of the line. Here's another look at the opening ride from Maxime Husno.
Okay, deep in the lineup too. See his very similar area where we saw waves ridden by the last heat advancement from Josh Moniz.
Well, not much of a wave, but he squeezed out a 5.5, so that's a nice start and good signs for Maxime Husno, given the conditions.
So where is Maxime on the New Era QS rankings?
He is number 66, so he's at the top of the second page of the rankings. He has some opportunities, but he's going to have to do some big work, if he wants to qualify in that top 10 at the end of the year in the New Era qualifying series rankings.
And there you go. If you look at what he's carrying as low scores and those 5 results that you have counting towards your year-end rankings, he's got a 700 and a 650, so he's already bettering that by getting into this round. But ultimately, yeah, you want to see himself even 2, 3, 4 heats into this, and he'll rocket up those rankings.
Connor Coffin, Championship Tour surfer. He's our top seed here. He's 21 on the Championship Tour. We take 22 at the end of the year, so he's right there at the cut line, but pipeline is going to be very important for him. The qualifying series, however, for Connor Coffin, likely not an option for him. He's 336 on that New Era rankings.
Not absolutely, right? What if he wins both events?
Yeah, well, you can do that.
Okay.
Again, the math.
But yes, he hasn't been, put it this way, he hasn't been focusing on the qualifying series all season long until he hits this Vans Triple Crown. I mean, yeah, we've seen guys win 2 events back-to-back. And it can be done.
Can be done.
Can be done. I mean, that would be probably the biggest jump we've ever seen, probably, right? 336 all the way to qualification.
Yeah, because I'm thinking the biggest jump I've seen in my head is still Dusty Payne from 97 to 10. But mathematically possible for Connor Coffin to win here at Haleiwa, go up the road, win at Sunset.
Got 20,000 points right there.
20,000 points out of it. And that's what makes it so exciting.
So true.
The surfer in the blue jersey, Italo Ferreira, he's 14th on the qualifying series. He's 25th, so he's out of the cut line on the championship tour, but he's looking really good. He's going to be a danger on that New Era qualifying series men's rankings because he's 14th and he still has two results just to finish off.
There we can see zeros. He's carrying zeros.
So David Van Zyl, that's not going to be much. So yeah, back to Italo Ferreira. He's got a big second place finish at the EDP Billabong Pro Cascais. Then he had a 9th place finish at another 10,000. That was the Vans US Open of surfing, just by way of those 2 results. And then a 5th place over back at home at the Hang Loose Pro. Got him in 14th on that New Era leaderboard. That's pretty impressive. and important for Italo Ferreira because he doesn't want to have to use that injury wild card. It'd be nice for him just to qualify via the QS.
Absolutely. You know, and again, that wild card would open it up to the commissioner's office and where who can slide in there, and it's up to the commissioners at that point.
Well, if I knew Italo was going to qualify at the end of the year and I'm below that 22 cut line on the championship tour, I'd definitely stub my toe.
Or stub your toe.
Do something just so you can
maybe break your toe.
Just, you know, get so you can just fill it out and send in that injury wild card request. You know?
Well, you got Kelly. Kelly probably going to ask for one.
Well, he's got one, so now we got one more left.
Yeah.
So there's still one up for grabs. Big news, right? Big news coming out of Kelly Slater Waveco for the World Surf League. That the Surf Ranch is going to be on the 2018 schedule. Big news.
That is big news, you know, and what does that do? It's going to be enlightening.
It's going to be a great year.
It's going to be a great year. I agree. It is going to be unique, and it's just an added element to deciding a world title.
And it just is really going to show even more who's the most well-rounded surfer, because this is going to introduce a whole new facet when we look at wave systems. It's going to introduce a whole new facet to determine a world champ. So I'm looking forward to 2018. I'm telling you right now. We're just finishing off 2017 with a bang here at the big last two men's qualifying series. We've got the title race going on for both the ladies and the men. It's been a wonderful 2017. Thank you for joining us here on World Surf League. And remember, if you got to leave your TV or computer, make sure you have that WSL app downloaded on your mobile device, and you can take our live streaming anywhere. Just don't watch it while you're driving. Italo Ferreira, watch him load up. Floats it, airdrops into it, comes around this section, bangs it, 12 o'clock lunchtime, and he's hungry for advancement here. That was a nice combination, Peter.
Talk about a critical section. That was a very critical section, and he was not afraid of it. He had just attacked that second maneuver. And then the float, too. I mean, free fall probably, what, almost 8-10 feet out of the air. It landed smooth as silk.
I want to see it again.
So here you are looking at it. This first section here, he just floats up over it, but look at the free fall all the way down. No worries there. And then that section attacking. Talk about critical sections. That was one of them.
Maxime Housneau snaps it off the top. Whitewater face, no problem for Maxime. Lays into layback. Two walls converge, no problem. Gets through that difficult section. And it looks like he wants to melt this one to the inside, maybe just for an easier paddle out. I don't know if there's a lot of points on the inside here, but he got some dynamic maneuvers done out the back.
You know what's interesting is you look at the equipment that he's riding, it is similar to what we had talked about, like a big shortboard.
Yeah,
right? I mean,
thicker.
It's a little wider, a little thicker, so there's enough foam in there, but it's going to paddle really nicely because he's not a big guy. You know, he's a lean, average height, probably what, 165, 170 maybe, or even lighter. Yeah. But either way, I mean, I think that his choices in equipment is unique, and he's going to set himself apart.
Well, we'll see what the score
rest of
comes through there, but before we see that score, we're going to check in with two tall guys against the glass. Jordy Smith's with Folky.
Yeah, thanks, guys. It's great to stand next to someone who's actually as tall as me. Jordy Smith right here, heat winner. Jordy, you were getting mobbed on the beach, a fan favorite everywhere you go, but you didn't even know that you had won that heat. Can you tell us about what was going on in the water?
Yeah, it's really difficult to hear with the north wind, but yeah, you kind of just go out there and you surf to a plan or to a game plan somewhat, and you kind of have predictions on what you think other people are getting, and then you kind of put yourself in the heat that way. That's at least what I do when I can't hear what's going on. And so yeah, kind of towards the end of the heat, I really didn't know what my situation was. I thought I was in second until I think maybe Josh got a last wave, and I'm not too sure what he might have got. I got that barrel wave. I wasn't too sure how they were going to score it, and so yeah, you kind of you hit and hope, and I just was kind of trying to catch a lot of waves towards the end just to try and guarantee myself a spot.
And that barrel wave was one of your keeper waves. The beach erupted when you popped out of that thing. Were you as surprised as we were that you found a barrel at onshore Haleiwa today?
I definitely was. You know, kind of paddling into that wave, I think Melling had priority, and he kind of passed it up. It was a really slow start, but I just saw it kind of doubling up, and you never know. You really got to keep your options open and never count anything out over here. You know, the waves break along, you know, hollow and shallow little reefs, so you just never know what might pop up, and lucky in my case it was a little barrel.
Taking advantage of a unique situation, Jordy Smith on to the next round. Back up to you guys for live action.
Thank you, Folky, and an adaptive and very talented Jordy Smith looking like he's in form for this Hawaii season. A couple of warm-ups here. He's going to have in a Triple Crown. He wants a Triple Crown title, but more than anything, he wants a world title, and he's right in that world title race.
You know, you think about the Championship Tour surfers, they are already in the Pipe Masters, right? Where so they're going to be seeded into those further rounds. Considering you've got the Pipe Invitational, where only 2 spots come out, he's going to be in that Pipe Masters, and looking at what he can do here at Haleiwa and Sunset Beach, you'd have to say that he is a Triple Crown threat for sure.
No doubt. Cam Richards, he's coming up. He's had the highest heat total so far at the Hawaiian Pro. Let's see how he adapts to the changing conditions today. But he's been doing some excellent aerial surfing here at Haleiwa.
It's going to be a different day today, and you'd have to see the adjustment. He's got to rely on coach. You got Bruce Walker there, fellow East Coast legend, actually U.S. team coach when I actually was on the U.S. team.
It's a long time ago, so Bruce.
Easy.
Bruce has been around for a while.
Yeah, that would have been 86, 87. Wow. He was, running that. I mean, my first trip.
Most of our competitors weren't born then, Peter.
Easy. Come on, bro. He was running the, there he is to your left, your screen.
Yeah.
Also have the next heat coming up too, Sebastian Zietz.
Yeah, Sebastian Zietz, William Cardoso, Cam Richards, and Vasco Ribeiro all coming up next.
Yeah, no restarts. Yeah. It's all beach caddies today, but you can paddle out anytime.
And Riley, our beach marshal, giving some of the messaging. Scores did come through for Italo Ferreira. That first wave that we were impressed with came in at an 8.33 Munster score. He followed it up with a 5.57. Italo is now in the lead. Maxime Husno, 5.5, a 6.57. That's enough to keep the French surfer in second place. And the distance between first and second, you can see, are quite a bit. Dave Van Zyl just with a 2-wave total of only 6 points. Connor Coffin's just got a 1-wave of 3.33.
You know, and speaking of that next heat, you got Cam Richards coming up, and Cam still holding on to the single highest wave as well as the single highest heat total. Yep. So again, he's looking, I like looking at that kind of top 10 waves, and those are single waves, but then those top 10 heat totals, and Cam sits up there. So that's good to know, especially since we're already halfway through this seeded round of the top dogs who
have been able to top that, huh?
Yeah, so it's good to see. So let's see what Cam can do. This is a big round for him.
How much confidence do you think that brings to him mentally paddling out here? I mean, it's a whole different day,
It's cool to look at on paper, but when you're going out for a heat, forget about it, all of it, because you're going out there, it's a whole new heat, whole new day. It's about beating 2 other competitors and doing whatever you can. If you can do it and figure it out with a pair of 6s, great. But yeah, I think that obviously he can reflect off that and go, okay, well, what did I do to get a 9.33? But, it was a big left air, full rotation error that got him that the 9.33, and he's going to have to do it on his backhand today, probably.
We're going to take a break, but we'll be back with more of the Hawaiian Pro. Just stick around. We got more surfing from Hawaii coming your way. Aloha Avakea, good midday, and we want to thank our official partner for the Vans Triple Crown of Surfing, Hydro Flask, double-walled, vacuum-sealed, stainless steel reusable containers that keep your hot hot and your cold cold, and also our good friends over there at Jeep. They're another official sponsor of the World Surf League and here at the Vans Triple Crown of Surfing. Thank you, Jeep, for all the support. Blustery day here in Haleiwa, Kaipagoro, along with Peter Mel, Italo Ferreira out in the lead. Right behind him, Maxime Husno, and we have a fairly desperate David Van Zyl and a very patient Connor Coffin, as he's only caught one wave so far in this heat. It's a 3.33. He has first priority, but we're down to just 12 minutes.
Another cool stat that we get to see on the WorldSurfLeague.com is you can look at their profiles as we watch a replay here of Italo Ferreira trying to improve on his low score.
He did too.
A little inside wave. Was able to get what, at 6.27?
6.27, so that wave right there, just great surfing by Italo, showing that he's got, you know, he's not turning his nose up at these conditions. You know, he's gonna surf to anything thrown at him.
Those average heat totals, you know, the average heat score for the year, Italo has the highest in this heat with a 12.83, but interesting, David Van Zyl, who has put in a lot of heats this season on the qualifying series, has a 12.75 heat total. So that goes to show that he's been putting up good numbers throughout the season. If you can compare it to the fact that Italo sits with that number, and, you know, on the championship tour, you know, Connor Coffin, you know, that's where he's been a lot of his focus. That's where he's been surfing most of his heats. He has about just over a 12-point total as well. So it goes to show that David Van Zyl has been putting himself right there as a good, solid heat total for the season.
Yeah, he's right in the conversation and a bright future for the young South African. He's on the second page of the New Era qualifying series rankings. He's currently 92 coming into Haleiwa, but he's been doing some great surfing. He's got some great opportunity here, and I've been impressed with what I've seen so far from Van Zyl.
Well, and if he stays in that top 100 picture, he'll be in all of the big QS events at the start of the season next year. You'll have two big events, the Vans US Open, the Bolito Pro, which are going to be the QS 10,000. At the very beginning of the season, you have a couple QS 6,000 with you know, the Newcastle event as well as the Australian Open.
And we can see on that page right there on the New Era qualifying series, David Van Zyl, the only one still in competition. All those grayed out surfers surf and were eliminated. So he's going to pass all those guys. Obviously, those other guys were below him, but he's going to pass some other guys on that New Era rankings. Connor Coffin, this is his second wave, opened up with 3-3, bounces off the lip there, no opportunity, flicks the board away in frustration because he waited about 15 minutes for that wave.
Yeah, when you have priority and you wait, you look for a quality wave, you do want to utilize that priority, especially if you've been holding on to it for a while. And then when it doesn't happen, yeah, you can see a bit of the frustration there.
Just a 1.63 for Connor Coffin on that second ride, so he's going to have to pick up the pace a little bit as we're into the final 9 minutes. Vasco Ribeiro coming up next, preparing himself, doing the walk around. And you get a little bit of a scene here at the Hawaiian Pro. There we go. And caught up with Connor Coffin on his way to what was looking like a good wave, but just caught an outside rail and went down. Now he's going to have to do a big paddle around.
Which, of course, sometimes it's easy if you're fairly far inside, but he's, it looks like he's far enough inside that he is going to be able to get around the corner. There's always that understanding of, like, do you just push yourself back out, get back into the rip and pull you to the right of the screen, or do you come in?
Yeah, you can see the surfers paddling out in the white jersey. That's Maxime Husno taking, you know, kind of a tougher route because he has to duck dive all those waves. On the left of your screen, you can see Connor Coffin further in the channel by that toilet bowl area, and he has a faster track back out. all of our surf fans making their way here, Pete, on Sunday.
Nice little Sunday afternoon.
David Van Zyl carves it through that turn, keeping it on rail the whole time. Little variety with another swooping carve.
Yeah, I love that. That's very similar turn. He actually pulled a little Connor Coffin look.
Didn't he?
Yeah, you know, where you go with the back arm back and then bring it through. As you carve through the maneuver, bring it through the opposite direction, you know, which is challenging to be able to twist your body, and it's a lot of core strength to be able to do that, and it's a very unique and cool turn.
Well, we'll get to see that turn.
So again, it carries the speed here. It pumps up, a little snap, and then there, whips it, but then this turn, a little different angle, layback, and then brings that arm back around. You see it's behind his body, and then he swoops it across as he goes through the carve.
Yeah, that's like the layback arm transferring into the Bertelmann arm. It's the layback to Bert carve. Are you going to go with that, Peter?
It seems like a little too much. We could just name it with one like, you can name it. You're good at nicknames.
Laybert. It's a Laybert carve. Italo. And I always just keep on watching Italo because you never know what he's going to do. Wave doesn't have a ton of opportunity, so he just kicks out, but he's going to remain in first place.
I'm almost liking it.
Laybert, because it starts off as a layback and then it turns into a Bert. Oh, well, we got, hey, Pete, we got some news about it, some changes in the draw, and with that, we'll go to Rosie Hodge. Rosie.
That's right, Capo. Well, something that I've noticed every day with Ian Falk when we walk up here at the competitors area is Michael Dunphy has been on standby. He's first alternate to get into this event, and he's just found out that he has got a spot by way of Jack Freestone. He's pulled out of the event. Jack and Alana Blanchard are expecting their first child, who is due any minute, any day now. So Jack is staying over on Kauai, waiting for their child to be born, and then Michael Dunphy gets the call up and he is in the event. So he must be pretty stoked with that, and I think, you know, he's actually watching one of his good friends, Cam Richards, who's going to hit the water in the next heat. So, yeah, good to see Michael Dunphy getting a start here at the Hawaiian Pro.
Thank you for the intel, Rosie. So that was very interesting. So Michael Dunphy's in, and Jack Freestone's going to have a kid any
awesome.
time now.
Congratulations to both the family there, because that's an experience you would never want to miss.
Not for a heat, right?
Not for a heat. I mean, you know, and Jack's in a situation where obviously he'd want to requalify, but bigger picture, you're going to be there for the birth of your first child. So congratulations to them, and also to Dunphy for getting a spot. You know, you're an alternate as we watch the replay there. Or no, sorry, that's live action.
Live action. Italo just picking apart that wave, and right behind him, Connor Coffin. Nice carve up in the lip there, and Coffin finishes off. What's he need? He needs an 8.74 if he wants to get into second place on just one wave. So he, you know, he ate up a lot of time, and that might be, you know, the mistake in this heat surfing for Connor Coffin.
What's interesting about being an alternate in this round is that it's not like you have a situation where if just someone that gets caught in traffic and isn't here and it's like the 5-minute thing. It's where you literally have to have someone call in and say, hey, I'm not going to show up. And then that's when you get your spot. Let's take a look at the recap here. Early stages went to Italo Ferreira with his 8.33. Maxime Husino has been able to put it together with a 5.5 and a 6.57, but has been fairly quiet in this back half of the heat. He's allowed Connor Coffin to kind of start digging in, as well as David Van Zyl to start catching up. But right at the moment, with 4 minutes to go, Maxime sits in that second spot, but he's got to try and improve on his low score of a 5.5 and make it a little bit harder for Connor or David to catch up.
Van Zyl, smooth there with that combination wrap.
The
Laybert, and Italo Ferreira, however, is just looking on point out there, consistently scoring above a 5 on everything. He opened up with an excellent ride of an 8.33. Italo hurt his ankle earlier this year on the Gold Coast, but it looks like that ankle is 100% now. As we have 4-man heats out in the water, 4 surfers, 2 out of those 4, 50% advancement out of each of these heats. And right now, this is the last round of seeding. So after this round, our field will be cut in half every single round until we're down to our final 4 surfers.
Well, that's what, 64 down to 32, down to
16.
16.
8, 4, and 4. There you go. Because we have a 4-man final. I almost went man-on-man with you, but not the case in Hawaii. Haha. There's a Connor Coffin camp with Parker there.
Oh, Paizel. Oh, there's a full crew. That's a full gamut there. That's a bunch of good coaches.
Joel Centeio.
Ooh,
Here he is.
Let's see what happens.
What do you got, Connor? Needs a 7.27 now. Layback snap.
Oh! What happened?
Little cavitation on the fins right there. And
he's looking like you can't believe it, because that was
could have been it.
It was going there. I had the vibe. But still has some time, you know, and it's interesting because priority, you know, has really been kind of a weird one, because it almost feels like you've been waiting for something that's not going to be there. Whereas if you just have the opportunity sitting outside of priority, that sometimes you just find a gem that opens up for you.
You know, I heard, I was going to get back to Chris Gallagher and Jordy Smith talking, and that's exactly what they were saying in the parking lot this morning. It's just like, keep on having reps at it. You know, don't just sit out there. And it seems to me, from all the heats that we watched today, that is kind of the formula. And priority, like you said, Pete, is really not that much of an advantage today, given the frequency of the waves. Van Zyl, 6.35. He can still do it. Needs a big section to close out here. Float, and the lack of open face may hinder that score and keep it pretty low.
I would agree. I would totally agree there. I mean, he surfed it well, nice flow through there, but the section's just not critical enough. When there's white water on the face and you're just gliding up over white water, judges aren't going to really buy into it. Let's take a look at the replay here. And he sees as there's some open face down the line. But this first section, nice snap there, but this section didn't quite pay off for him. If it had been a little bit more clean and vertical face, maybe. But at this point, I think it's going to come shy.
40 seconds. Heat leader with priority, and he's going to utilize it. And let's just enjoy the surfing of Italo Ferreira on this wave, because we're going to see him into round of 32. Little wedge here. Always so quick on the backhand. You got something for me, Pete?
Well, sliding into the
round of 32 for
round
Italo
of 32
Ferreira.
for Italo. You know, you look at where he sits on the rankings, adding
a couple grand, I bet.
2,100 points.
Told you, yeah. Boom.
And that will be huge for him, because most likely he'll slide into that top 10 picture.
Just with that heat win.
Yeah, so I mean, he's already adds 1,500 points probably. So I mean, it's not quite enough yet, but right now sounds like he'll move up in there.
He's looking in form. Italo Ferreira and Maxime Husno move on. We'll have more surfing from Haleiwa. We're bringing in Strider Wazalewski and Chris Cote for the call.
visuals like that that bring millions and millions of visitors to the Hawaiian Islands every year. And the reason we're here, it's the Vans Triple Crown of Surfing. Chris Cote here with Strider Wasalusi. Some incredible heats already in the books. And you're in for another fantastic show of surfing right now with 2013 Vans Triple Crown of Surfing champion Sebastian Zietz hitting the lineup. What are his chances today, Strider?
Well, by judging off of how much he's been surfing and how well he's been surfing, pretty darn good. Not to mention, you had that early round star Cam Richards coming up, William Cardozo. I mean, there's some great surfers in this heat, so it's going to be super fun to watch these guys get into the lip. Speaking of Sebastian Zietz, here he is. The high seat, throwing down a little cutback, setting it up for the corner. Does well to time it in the lip and then under it to get a little hair job there. You get a little shampoo, huh?
Right behind him, William Cardozo.
The big bear up into the lip. This guy will throw some water around. And it's amazing to see how well he surfs in smaller surf too. So William doing really well in the smaller stuff and the bigger stuff. So getting the big frame moving. Love to see him surf Cardozo.
Well, this is a great heat. Sebastian Zietz, William Cardozo, Cam Richards, and Vasco Ribeiro. Speaking of great heats, last heat was great as well. We've got the winner, Italo Ferreira, on the beach right now with Ian Folke.
Thanks, Cote. Yeah, it was a fantastic heat. Italo, from your high-flying edits we see on the WSL's Instagram to making heats at the Hawaiian Pro, it looks like, to us, you love Hawaii.
Oh yeah, Hawaii is so fun, you know. It's a lot of waves too, waves for airs and turns and something like that, you know. So I'm so happy to make through this heat, and it's so hot out there, you know. It's so hard to stay and waiting for one good wave, but when beginning of the heat, I got a good solid wave and 8 points, I think, and the second one was good too, but it's so hot out there, but I'm so happy to make through.
And there's been a couple lay days in between the first 2 days of the event that we run in today. What have you been doing to keep busy?
There was a lot of lay days, you know. I just surf and doing some barbecues with my friends and enjoy, you know, because Hawaii is so good.
We love it. It's fueling up on the protein, looking great out in the heat. Best of luck in the future rounds. Back up to you guys for live action.
Thanks, Folke. That really is what the North Shore is all about, surfing and barbecuing. Two of the favorite pastimes over here.
You know, I think there's a whole documentary about barbecuing, and it's not actually about the food. It's about what happens around the barbecue. Everybody gets together, just the friends, having a drink, and enjoying each other's company. And that is something that is just the epitome of Hawaii when we come here as surfers. You know, hanging out, we make some food, we talk, wrap out, afternoon sunsets. It's about as fun as an afternoon can be.
And apparently, one of the best barbecuists on the North Shore, Ty Van Dyke, over at the Volcom House.
Yep, he just got a couple Traegers. He's all about it. He actually built a little shed just for it.
I love it.
You know, so fun to watch.
Vans Triple Crown of Surfing will roll on to Sunset Beach after the Hawaiian Pro wraps up. Then from there, the Billabong Pipe Masters.
Woo, doggy.
December 8th through the 20th. We got 24 minutes to go. Sebastian Zietz with a hefty carve straight up into the lip. Late hit, no go. Seabass goes down. First score comes through. Respectable 6.5. That's a good way to start your heat.
Yeah, it's going to feel good. Get the body moving. Anything up around that 7 range is going to make you happy, especially on a day like today. A lot of water moving around out there. You heard the guys talking about it in their post-heat interviews. A lot of paddling, pretty much throwing everything you know about Haleiwa out the window, and you're just trying to get it done. Look at those big ribs in that wave. You have to time those turns perfectly. Seabass does the first one right, and the second one, he just met the lip a little late.
Live action, William Cardozo. They call him Kung Fu Panda. Cranks it off the bottom. Nice layback hack. Straight back into the whitewater. Another quick turn. Solid start for William Cardozo as well. He needs these points, doesn't he, Strider?
The big bear. Well, you know what? He does and he doesn't. If he wants to win the WQS, yeah. But he's pretty safe right now at 17, I think 600. 17,600 points on the rankings right now on the QS.
Cam Richards, a little bit deeper on the QS. And right now, I think Cam Richards has got to be a little worried with the lineup he has out here. 3 hard-charging, powerful regular footers. He is the lone goofy footer out there. I would say of these in this heat, Cam Richards, one of the more dynamic, but of course, give Sebastian Zietz a section, he will fly.
Yes, indeed. It's interesting when you have you're the lone goofy footer or a lone regular footer, and there's all goofy footers. You know, you kind of stand out a little bit though. So he'll look unique to the judges, and his surfing, he's pretty vertical. Gets off a couple of nice turns right there, but never really sets a rail. The only rail we saw was on the bottom turn. We'll see what William does here. Gets a little chip off the top there. This turn, pretty good. Nice little cut back into the corner. A little drop wallet, but nothing really opened up. You know, we haven't really seen him open up into it. Throws it around right there. A lot of spray. Big foot on the back of that tail. So, solid for William. You know, mid-range for William.
You know, even though he's a bigger dude, I still feel like William Cardoso is even more finesse than he is full power.
Well,
really
this guy,
precise surfer.
This guy just got the gift on this wave. 3 turns, are you kidding me? Vasco, he was waiting, and he's going to come in with an average score as well. So Seabass still sitting on the highest score of the heat, out in front. William, couple of 4s, almost a 5, and a 5.23 for Vasco. Cam sitting on a 4.23 as his high. Everybody kind of wanting more out of this heat, and I think the only one kind of feeling good about it is 6.5 for Seabass. You know, that's pretty good though. Great way to open up a heat.
It's a good start. So you're scoring. We've got 5 judges. We throw out the low, we throw out the high. It's 3 scores in the middle. That'll be your average. It only takes 2 waves. You know, glory or defeat on the strength of 2 waves. 20 minutes to go here in round 3, heat 11. We said it this morning, you will see the high seeds coming through. Surfing superstars going up against QS threats. And that's exactly what you have in this heat. Sebastian Zietz, CT standout. Multiple events have been won by Sebastian Zietz. 22 CT surfers have come down to compete here at Haleiwa.
So William Cardoso, he's sitting on 17,740 points. So he's pretty safe.
Pretty safe.
They said the cutoff's going to be 17.5. It's not official, but you know, there's kind of just the rumorville floating around out there. So our man Kaipo Guerrero thinking maybe not.
So keep the Champagne or the LaCroix on
ice. It's going to be higher maybe. We'll see. We'll find out where the cutoff goes. I think there's going to be double qualifiers in there. There's going to be a lot of different things that are going to play into this. And then we'll see how low this cutoff goes.
Well, you can always expect the unexpected here at the Vince Triple Crown of Surfing. Nobody would have foreseen waves like this, except for those surfers who are prepared for anything. You have to be able to adapt. You got to bring all your boards.
Vasco.
You got to bring your positive attitude. You got to know that everybody's on the same playing field here. It doesn't matter where you're from. When you pal out here at Haleiwa, it's the great equalizer.
Vasco sitting out in 4th place right now. He's sitting on 8,470 points, not 34th. So, you know, these heats are huge for him because he could have massive leaps, you know, making it into the deeper days. You know, if he's on the final day here, it would be amazing. It would really give him some solid points and better his position. And then he could go into sunset really looking at a requalification story. Look at those guys. They're just paddling out the back. Cam on the inside looking for a little nugget.
Here he goes on his backhand. That might have been more of a position play. Cam Richards on day one. So far the favorite, or my personal favorite air of this event. It's crazy to think back just a couple of days ago, the Hawaiian Pro was an air show.
On the lefts.
On the lefts. And here's a look back at this just perfectly punted 540 from Cam Richards.
So full rotation and then some on the landing. Look at that, landing straight back at the beach.
Yeah, full 540 degrees.
Pretty beautiful.
Back that.
I love the way he rode out of that. He was just, you know, he came down in the cushion.
And I love that you have to be able to surf through all conditions to get the glory here.
You know, we mentioned it before, but most sports you rock up, you have the same platform. Even skateboarding, you have the same platform. A lot of times in snowboarding on half pipes, you basically have, you know, the super pipe. You've got the same platform. In surfing, no two waves are alike. Even in a wave pool, they're different. It's just an interesting element.
Seabass is ready. Sebastian Zietz, nice opening snap, blows the fins, and he does the reverse cockroach.
There was a reverse cockroach.
Yeah, that was almost
cool.
a ride out.
I like that.
And if anybody can pull off a reverse cockroach in competition, it's Sebastian Zietz.
Notably, the best entrance into a Triple Crown crowning.
Win, yep. How did he do it? Explain to us how he went to accept
Sebastian
his trophy.
Zietz rides for Oakley. He was down at the Oakley house. Here's his replay real quick. Comes up into the corner, throws a nice little snap gouge, and then just comes off kilter right there as he was in the lip and tries to get the cockroach going right there, but just can't quite pull it. If those of you don't know about what the cockroach is, that's a longboard maneuver where people lay on their back upside down and put their arms and their feet in the air and kind of throw them around. So
yeah,
as a cockroach does when he's on his back, right?
Yeah, it's technical.
Just before he gets squashed. But so he's staying at the Oakley house. He finds out he wins the Triple Crown. His housemates put him on a surfboard, lift him into the air, and he surfs on the board, being hoisted all the way back down to the stage.
Literally crowd surfing.
Which is really far. That's a really long entrance into the Triple Crown.
And guess what? He won the Triple Crown, got on tour. That's a huge 2-for-1, Strider.
Well, and hats off to the crew that carried him, because that's a long way.
He's a big kid. Speaking of big kids, William Cardoso packs in 2 quick snaps. Halfway through the heat, Sebastian Zietz in the lead. Judges not throwing much out for the reverse cockroach attempt. Just a 1 for his last wave. So he's got a 6.5 and a 3.37. Again, no one really breaking through the glass ceiling score-wise in this particular heat. You can always expect that one big score to come through, and then people start to kind of turn it up. It's anyone's heat to win at this point. Here goes Sebastian Zietz. Nice pair of maneuvers, blasting the tail out. People really liking the Larry today. When I say Larry, I mean that layback maneuver at the end. Larry Bertelman.
The layback Larry. Well, we'll see it one more time right here. Look at him. Look at the form. Looking really clean. Nice sweep back into the corner. Comes up onto that oncoming section, and what you do is you push all that weight at it, and you kind of lean backwards and let the wave push back at you, and it pushes you back upright.
The momentum really...
It's really cool. It's a really hard maneuver because it has to be timed perfectly, because if you don't, you're just going to, you know, either miss it and fall backwards, or miss it and go over the back with your board. So pushing with all your weight into it, and it meeting you and the G-force kind of standing you back up.
The risk is a blowout.
It's a blowout.
You're falling.
Broken board. All kinds of stuff could happen.
Cam Richards. That was not a good wave. Wave selection is key here. We know this, Strider. It's going to be really tough to find gems out here, but they are there. 13 minutes to go. We're over halfway through this heat. Round 3, heat 11, with more surfing to come. Stay tuned. Welcome back, surf fans. You are watching the Hawaiian Pro Stop 1. Here in the three-part series, you know, as the Vans Triple Crown of Surfing, it takes a village to raise an event like this. That's why we have awesome partners. Cuervo Tradicional and Sebastian Zietz, who is the team rider for Michelob Ultra. Thank you, Michelob Ultra, for all your support through the year. 11 minutes, 22 seconds to go. Sebastian Zietz in the lead. William Cardoso in second. Cam Richards third. Vasco Ribeiro in fourth. But it's still anyone's heat. And this was why we were away. This is William Cardoso.
William, you know, he's put up a couple of solid scores, bashing away out there, but you know, he looks like he hasn't really turned into the flow he wants. And I feel like he's just getting warmed up. I feel once he gets that frame moving and really puts it into the lip, we're going to see some big scores out of him.
Sebastian Zietz looking a little bit freed up now. Start pushing it. Bam, nice, not so nice carve. I spoke too soon. It's really hard to get those full rail gouges out here with so much bounce coming up the wave. As illustrated by Sebastian Zietz, the unforced error there. 10 minutes, 20 seconds to go. Highest single wave score in this heat is a 6.5. Well, what's going on, Strider? Why aren't they breaking through into that excellent score level right now?
It's interesting because we've had the waves to do it. Like this wave right here, Seabass, I think he's just a little too hyped up. Conditions a little bumpy, so the X factor. But look at that platform he had right there. He came around the corner, and I think he might have been looking down the line a little bit too much. You can see the bumps on the face. Comes into it beautifully. Starts his turn. And then right there, his fins kind of jobbled out, and then there's that little warble in the face. So everything kind of, the rail line released, and then as he tried to re-engage it, he was already kind of, his momentum was turning. His shoulders had already turned all the way across, and the body was still flat because of the warble, and the board stayed in the same place, which would put him in a very precarious position not to be able to recover.
Well, we've seen decisive moments in this heat with a couple of waves that were kind of on the edge. Could have been bigger scores, but we've also seen, you know, these conditions wreaking havoc on the QS standings with some shocking heats going down, some big upsets, but also a couple big wins. Notably Mitch Colburn, who had a huge win earlier. John Florence coming in second in that heat. The conditions, you know, basically the judges, they reset with each and every heat, just like the surfers have to do. You know, they're watching wave for wave, and they take into consideration tides, wind conditions, swell size. So they will adjust their scale throughout the day. And we've pretty much seen, I would say, similar conditions from the beginning of the day till now. You know, if anything, while it looks like it's just as gusty as ever, I'd say the wind may have even dropped just a hair. Sometimes has a tendency to do that in the afternoons here.
Look at all those people down there just enjoying that little bit of sea breeze and sun on their back, and you see the palm trees flying in the background there. I have a trivia question for you.
Go ahead.
Is the palm tree native to Hawaii?
I don't know.
Is it?
Oh, were you asking me, or
it
you?
An indigenous species.
I don't know.
It is not. Palm tree was brought here. That's an interesting fact.
Yeah, I'm with you. 7 minutes, 30 seconds to go. Huge heat coming up. Ethan Ewing, Jadson Andre, David Silva, Michael Rodriguez. Now that is it. Massive QS battle right there.
There's some serious pride on the line in that heat, let me tell you. All those guys are going to be in an all-out Brazilian battle.
And Ethan Ewing, who is scraping for points, did not have a good rookie year on the championship tour, which happens. You know, a lot of times you'll see it in other sports, college athletes that are just dominant.
Breaking onto the scene.
They get into the big leagues and it's like, where am I? I think that's what happened with Ethan Ewing. Rookie slump. But if he can get himself back in that qualification
He's had some great heats too, you know. He's had some really solid surfing, yet he's coming up against opponents who are on fire as well. So,
I mean, that is a huge jump. QS to CT, that is just massive. You're going up against guys like Sebastian Zietz and surfing like that, always going to be tough to beat.
Comes up, clicks it, then gets a little shampoo. After he gets his hair done, he comes around the corner for a finish on the inside. So Sebastian inside smash, and then the big man, the Panda, throwing some water around himself. Well, you can just see the up and down lump out there, but this was probably one of the better ways of the heat. As you just saw, you know, this wave just kept on giving. You got 3 turns out of it. On the inside, slams it home. So great surfing by Vasco Ribeiro from Portugal. And then there was Sebastian Zietz with a nice form slice right there, but then the drop wallet on the corner. 5, 6, 7.
5.5 to go here. Sebastian Zietz in the lead. Vasco Ribeiro has got a solid start here. Trying to find something. And this is rare, I mean, to see Vasco Ribeiro in a big right, not being able to put it together. I mean, to me, Vasco was the favorite of all the Portuguese surfers to make the championship tour. Of course, eclipsed Frederico Moraes. So, you know, Vasco has a, you know, he's got some honor on the line. He wants to join Frederico. So with 5 minutes to go, you know, we have our mathematicians over here. If Willian Cardoso can win this heat,
or just get through it,
he's guaranteed a spot on the World Championship Tour for 2018.
First or second, he's in. That's a huge deal. I mean,
so wow. Willian Cardoso fans can get ready. In 2018, you'll be able to buy a Willian Cardoso jersey in the World Surf League store.
It's going to be crazy because you think about, like, okay, how are these guys going to perform once they get onto this main stage?
Well, Willian's done it, and he did all right. He didn't set the world ablaze on the championship tour, but now he's got a second chance. You know, I'm sure he's learned a lot.
It's going to be fun to be able to say, I made it.
Absolutely.
I'm back.
Huge dream realized, and then re-realized.
You know, but he's back, and he's like, you know, he's going to go home, and everybody's going to be so proud of him, you know?
Oh, for sure.
He's got to win this heat, though. He's got to make it through this heat.
He's still got 3 minutes and 50 seconds to go. We know anything is possible. Because he's got 2 very good surfers chomping at the bit and not needing much.
What would you say, 0.5 of the surfers in the world get to make it on tour?
It's a small group.
It's a very small group of surfers.
There's a couple million surfers.
0.05.
There's a couple million surfers on the planet. Only 34 of them.
I mean,
every year get to make the championship tour.
Can you imagine that? And that's your dream, and you set out for it knowing the numbers are just so far against you.
Well, there it is, the new era qualifying series. Men's rankings. Jesse Mendez, he's out of this contest, but he's in.
Oh.
He's made it. Kanoe Igarashi, he's made it. Yago Dora, safe to say, he's made it. Now Willian Cardoso and Tomas Hermes are right there. 2 minutes, 50 seconds to go. Will he make the championship tour or not? It's crazy to think of that. He's got to play defense now against Cam Richards and Vasco Ribeiro.
He's got priority, which is a good place to be, but that lineup is so torn up and so all over the place. Anything can happen.
We've seen
small
one,
scores. Look at the requirements.
Yeah, we've seen 1 interference on the event. So surfing has been clean in the lineup. So now it just comes down to 2 minutes, 20 seconds to go. Cardoso's job, not done yet. Making it through this heat will lock him in to the 2018 Championship Tour. I love this time in competitive surfing. The qualification story is always so fun to watch and heartbreaking to watch and exciting to watch. It comes down to the wire every year. Under 2 minutes to go.
The treadmill continues. the paddling towards the channel. So this is traditional, right, for Haleiwa. You do a lot of paddling into that channel. It's like a treadmill that just sucks out. There's a deep spot right off the reef that just has the water funneling out. You can see all that wave action behind you. It all comes in and then it sweeps back out through this little deep water channel right next to the reef here at Haleiwa. And with that, if you can imagine, when the waves get really big here, you're paddling for your life in that sweep of a current, and you're trying not to get picked off by 20-foot tubing waves on your head.
And unlike a lot of other breaks, this wave actually sucks you into the impact zone.
Oh, it is just brutal, let me tell you.
A minute to go. Sebastian Zietz holds on to the lead. Willian Cardoso, if he advances through this heat, he will have done it. He's got 50 seconds to think about what could be a life changer for him to get back on the championship tour. Cam Richards, Vasco Ribeiro, trying to find something. They both have qualification dreams. All right, here we go. Willian Cardoso with priority holds off Vasco Ribeiro. He still could improve. He's got a 4.90. Big opening. Snap with his nice float. Kung Fu Panda.
That's gonna
all but seals it.
Open up the requirement and make everybody else's job a lot harder. All those numbers are gonna go up possibly by a whole point.
You think he knows right now what just happened?
Because I think he does. He knows. He's elated. He's actually gonna shed a tear and come into his friends and be just psyching and give some hugs out. Look at him. Yes, that's right. He feels it.
There you have it. Ladies and gentlemen.
And he's going to get a huge score.
We welcome Willian Cardoso to the 2018 Championship Tour. It's confirmed. What a moment for Willian Cardoso.
The happy panda.
And he's going to get a huge score, so we could see a flip-flop in positioning here. All right, well, congratulations. Hopefully we'll get a word with Willian after this heat, but more surfing to come. Stay tuned. You're watching the Hawaiian Pro.